Hi, welcome back. My name is Ashish, and in this video we will see how does Terraform works. Let's say that you or your team have decided that you would use Terraform to provision your infrastructure. To prepare to use the Terraform, let's examine how Terraform works and see some of its most commonly used features. So let's talk about how Terraform files are structured, what parts make up a typical Terraform plan, how Terraform command map to the infrastructure life cycle. So first of all, let's see how our Terraform files structured. Let me see if I can pull up the whiteboard here. Okay, so when we are working with Terraform code, we will commonly use these 3 or 4 files. First is main.tf. Okay, what does main.tf do? A .tf file will hold all your Terraform configuration code. Okay, so it would have your config code. This file is often called a Terraform plan. Okay, make a note of it. It would be often called a Terraform plan. This Terraform plan specifies the infrastructure resources that we need. So we can name this file whatever we want, but it's often named main.tf. Alright, second one, it's terraform.tf-vars. Terraform.tf-vars. What would this do? Let me do this. Okay, what would this do? Your Terraform plan can include variables that are set when the plan runs. Variables enables us to express the configuration more generally. For example, we might specify the region or location of the resource. It can be West US, North Europe, Central India, whatever it is. So variables enables. The variables that are enabled allows us to be more easily reuse the Terraform code without the need to modify the source code. They also enable us to more easily change how multiple resources are configured. There are few ways to specify each variable's value when the plan runs. So in coming section I'll show you what exactly do I mean by the variables, defining it and calling them. Third one would be terraform.tf state. Terraform.tf state. What would it do? Terraform.tf state is called the state file. It's a JSON file that Terraform manages. Okay, it's a JSON file that would, I'm sorry about the typing, that would be managed by Terraform. It helps map the resources that you define in your plan to the running resources that your plan produces. For example, you might include a name as part of your resource description, but the running resource is identified by a GUID or a numeric ID. It's the unique ID that every resource in the JSON file would have it. So let's see what's in a Terraform plan. What exactly do we have in Terraform plan? What is it? Terraform plan. Talking about this section. Okay, so we have providers in the Terraform plan. What do provider? A provider links the Terraform resources that you specify to the API calls that are needed to provision and manage those resources. In terms of declarative programming, think of your plan as what infrastructure you need. Think of a provider as how your plan is mapped to running cloud resources. Provider software versions are maintained separately from the Terraform package. You can specify the provider version in a provider block. So if I want to define a provider version, so I would say, okay, the provider for this is Azure VM. I want to define a provider version out of this. I would have these brackets. Then I would define a version. It can be tilted sign. Okay, it can be this 1.35 like this. I'll close my bracket. Okay, so when we are getting started, we don't need to include the provider block in the plan. In practice, we might include the provider version to help ensure that our plan is running with the version of the provider. Okay, now we have the variables. We also have variables. What do variables do? Okay, earlier we defined a variable in Terraform as a way to express the configuration more generally. Variables are set when the plan runs. So I want to define a variable. I would do this variable. I'm defining a variable with this resource group location. Okay, I would give a bracket and I would describe this variable that what would it do? The location of the resource group. Okay, location of the resource group. I'll close it. And optionally, I can define a default value as well. Okay, I'm going to define the variable as a resource group location. I'm not letting a user decide which location to use. I'm just specifying, the default value for this variable would be Central India. So I have defined a value for this variable. When you define your resource group, you use the var.variable syntax to read your variable. And also you can use resources as well. So if we talk about resources is the primary construct in Terraform. A resource defines one piece of infrastructure that you need. Examples of compute resources include virtual machines, app service. Example of data and storage resources include Azure Storage and Azure SQL database. So like I've defined a variable with the resource group location, I can define a resource. So if I just copy this block and I would go here, and other than variable, I would write resource. Okay, and I'm going to write the Azure resource group. I'm going to do it. I'm going to define the value here. I'm going to say location. I'm going to change it. I'm going to do var dot resource. What I'm doing here is cancel this amount as well. So I've defined a resource. Okay, the resource would be resource group location of my, let's say I'm going to define it as my Azure app service. Azure app. That would be Azure app service resource location, and the name and the location I'm defining is var dot resource group location. Okay. It would make more sense to you when I'll deploy these templates, Terraform playbooks, the Terraform code in the HCL language onto the Azure pipelines. Alright, output values. In this we also have the output values. So an output value is a way to expose information to the person or the process that runs your plan. Terraform prints each output value after it applies the plan. You can also fetch an output value later when you need it. So, like if I'm deploying a resource, I can fetch the output values after Terraform runs. Then you would have some Terraform settings block, specify the configuration settings for the Terraform itself, that which version of Terraform I'm using. Okay, and there are some few commands. The initialize, which is Terraform init command, which initializes the Terraform environment. The Terraform plan command, it produces an execution plan that's based out on the configuration that we are trying to deploy. Then we have Terraform apply command, runs the execution plan. So think of it as that you are hitting at the apply button to the proposed changes that you would get from the Terraform plan command. So plan would lay out the execution plan based on the configuration, and apply would apply the changes to it. And destroy, Terraform destroy command destroys all infrastructure resources that are defined in the plan. Okay, so this is what I wanted to give you an idea regarding this. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and we'll cover more new topics and more interesting topics. So thank you for joining, and we'll make a video around running a basic Terraform plan from the Azure Cloud Shell. Okay, then we'll make we'll define the plan provisioning task for the Azure pipelines. Then we'll try to run Terraform by using a remote state file and the service principal. So I will try to experiment with different things using Terraform and Azure pipelines, and then see how it goes. I hope this was informative for all of you guys, and please share your feedbacks in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till next time, have a great day. Bye bye.